Yeah.
Doesn't sound any different, does it?
No,
Is that good? Okay. Oh, it's just to the Zoom people. Sorry, Zoom. Anyway, I was in that boat too. I guess it was, I don't know, when they first came out in the 20 teens or whatever. I was sent one to my school with just one pan pastels. You know how they come, just in this little thing, and one sponge. And I'm like, what in the world am I going to do with this thing? Right. And I was like, just put it away. I was like, okay, I kept it there. But then I came to a meeting where you guys had, and I'm sorry about this, it's not in present mode. Slideshow. Start from beginning. There we go. Gail Piazza, who is also, I believe, a member of the Maryland Pastel Society. And she came in and she did a demo, and this was a piece she had done that she brought in pans, and she won like a first place or something in it. Isn't it gorgeous? Very drawing like you could see through to the paper. But then she set up and she did this like still life that ended up looking like a full-on like painting. And I was like, I'm really intrigued with these things now. So I went and got them and basically taught myself, because as you know, if you go on YouTube, there's like a million YouTube videos on this. And if you've ever seen them, very often the imagery that the people are going for is hyper realistic, lots of blending. They're using pastel pencils or colored pencils on top of it. And that wasn't me, because I was really trying to get away from that tight rendering and get more to a more expressive, looser approach. And then I just started playing with them. And Cheryl and I were talking, Cheryl, on the way in here this morning, about how you really just need to get to know them. Just like those of you who started with pastel didn't know what you were doing. Now you know, oh, I need to pick up a hard one. Oh, I need to pick up a soft. I need a Terry Ludwig here. I need a Sennelier here. You start to know your medium. So don't give up on the pans if you've been frustrated with them at first. Start playing with them. Use them. And this is how I started. I did use them for under paintings. And then all of a sudden I'm like, dang, I don't need to finish it. It's done. I don't need to use pastel, barely any on top of it. So, and I will share some of those with you. So these are some of the papers that you can use. Really, any drawing or printmaking paper, even if it's smooth, you can use it. If it's white, you'll have a very pale color. The range of values with the pan pastels, like I always say, that you have your 0 to 10 in your value scale. I think we're on about a 3 to a 7 or an 8 in the pan pastels. They're just not going to be as extreme of a value range, which is why I like to use either a mid-tone to dark background. A lot of people really love using these on black. Very, very lovely on black. But they also don't have a lot of power to them. I took a Christine Swan workshop years ago called The Power of Pastel. And she was talking about how the harder pastels, the pastel pencils, compared to like, the Sennelier and the Terry Ludwigs, they have a different degree of power, with the Terry Ludwigs and the Schmankeys and Senneliers being the most powerful. Those are the icing on the cake. Those are the little decorations on your cake. You wait to the end. You don't start an underpainting with one of those, right? So that was the one thing she was missing. She didn't have the pan pastels, which are the least powerful. And that's because they will literally take up no tooth of your paper. Barely any tooth at all. So it's very translucent, very light, but surprisingly, you can build it up and then you can use the pastel on top of them. So that's why any paper will work. People love using pastel matte. I know Steffi Clark does her backgrounds and with pastel matte. I've done many on Canson Touch, which worked pretty nicely too. Then UArt Black is just wonderful. And really one of the main reasons I started using it was because I liked La Carte paper. And as you know, you cannot get it wet. So this was a way for me to do an underpainting without getting it wet. But just so you know, we learned in our exploring pastel papers workshop on Wednesday, Sennelier actually makes a la carte paper now that's called mixed media, and you can get it wet. So we came up with some really interesting finds with that kind of exploration of those papers. Pastel Premier, we've also learned, does not like liquid. It is not a friend of liquids, it's not at all, but this is good to use the pan pastels on there as well. It still just doesn't grab it as much as the others. The surprise here is the Strathmore Artigan paper, which feels like it has zero tooth at all. And you'd be shocked at how intense the color is. And this is just the beginning of one. That's on the Artigan. And you can erase through it, which is really, really nice.
Don't you have watercolor or ink wash in some of the ones?
Yes, these two. Yeah, we did all kinds of experimenting the past couple days. But then my favorite, it is brand new. And if you have not used Canson Velvet yet, buy some. It is, and it's different. You got to kind of get used to it. It will grab a hold of your pastel like nothing else. You almost don't even need to fix it. It doesn't come off. It's just the most incredible paper. Canson Velvet. Yeah, it's wonderful paper. And so, you know, these are the soft tools I'll be using. Yes, mine are black. And that's because they're well loved. And I go through them pretty quickly, especially if you're using a really toothy paper. But it's okay to have them be a little, you know, chewed up a little bit. But this set is great. The whole set having the little palette knives, which this was Blick, but you can actually get these on Amazon. All over Amazon. My favorite are the wedges, what do they call it? Angle slice. I don't know. It's like angle slice, and there's a round angle slice. And I love these, and you can do a lot with them. So those are the tools. And then, of course, you know what they look like. But I highly recommend getting these cases. Strangely enough, I guess when they sold out to Golden, the manufacturers started changing these cases, and my lids are not compatible with some of them. And I'm really having a hard time putting, like, if I don't match up the lid to the backing thing, it doesn't fit right. So
you always put the lids on?
Oh, to carry them. Yeah. So instead of having to twist on the lids, you just take this. Okay. Yeah. So these I highly recommend. So that just pops on. So this one obviously fits. So I'm going to Italy in a month. I'm going to be taking 2 of these trays in my suitcase. But you can also, you know, put them together like a Pringles can. Yeah.
Let's say that you aren't really interested in becoming a pan pastelist, but you want maybe a basic set that you would use sometimes, like for underpainting, you know, or
you can either get a black and white set and do like a grisaille, how do you say that? Grisaille underpainting, okay, with the black and white. Or I would highly recommend getting the extra darks. Okay. Get a basic set, get a couple extra darks and a couple tints. That would give you the range, because the basic set is going to look kind of like this. Everything is like just color wheel, right? You're not going to have those variations. Can you mix them? Yes. Are you going to be as successful with that? No.
Because it doesn't have.
I mean, you could play around with them just to get to know them, but as Jenny will tell you, once you start playing with them, you're like, okay, I got to have them all. And then you go on the store and you spend $400 on a full set. They do last long. They do last long. And they just came out with a whole set of another 200 last summer that I had to have. And that's where you're seeing all these like little yummy colors here and there. They're just fun.
So you said basic, extra darks,
and the tints, or yeah. the tints.
Do they ever get crumbly or anything?
Sometimes they get sent to you and they're broken.
Okay.
Keep it. Tell them they broke it. They'll send you a new one. You have the other one. You can still use it. You just get a nice new one. But yeah.
Just wanted to note that the way that you've been able to attach them to your board is very important.
Yes.
Those clips, because otherwise you've got them on a table and you're trying to mess around with them.
Which I do, and I have, and this is a new thing. I just started doing this when I did a demo for Pastel Live last summer. And I wanted to make sure, because all the other demos I did on Zoom, I was like having multiple cameras because I'd have them in front of me. And I have plein air painted with these in front of me, but I did see a plein air artist doing this, and that was what gave me the idea. It just took me a while to find the clips that were big enough to do that. I guess I ordered them on Amazon or something, but they're hard, man. You gotta do a workout to open them. Yeah.
They wouldn't just pop out.
They don't. No, they're very secure. Like they pop out. You just gotta have a little. So I could change them up.
And I thought was really important. Is that you were able to move it while you're standing there. This one, this one.
And you do that a lot, and you'll see how I do that because I intuitively mix. So here's a couple plein air pieces that I did. And back then I had a Julian easel, and I put a piece of board this way, clipped that on the front, and then I had extra ones on the back. So if I needed one, I could go get it. But since I got rid of my Julian easel and I only have a little sienna box, I don't know how I'm going to do it. So you could always bring like a horse or, a little folding table and pretty much curate. You certainly don't need every one of these. And I don't know that I'm going to touch every one of these. I wish there was a way for me to record like which ones I didn't touch. But you can, as long as you have a range of value, you can curate that set and just go with, I'm planning on taking 2 trays with me to Italy and then some regular pastels. So those are a couple of the plein air. They're super quick. So ideal for a plein air piece. And then here's a few that I did with animals. And you can really get some fun, like energetic marks in this. It's kind of hard to see here. So at the very end here is when I did the whiskers. I took this guy, dipped it into the white, and just went boop, boop, boop. Pretty much printed them on there. So you're going back and forth between blending with these, printing with these, or making marks and pulling it and dragging it. So it's very, very versatile.
Do you use them wet?
No wet. That actually kind of ruins it. They're just very unique. There's nothing out there like this. So this is one of the first portraits I ever did with them. And I wish I could show you the drawing of this one that I had done in China marker, and she's so out of proportion and ugly. But when I went to fix it, the pans just went right over it, and it was so quick. And the only place that is a regular pastel, and this is where that power comes in, you have all this really pale, like muted softness and working with the paper. This is Lacarte, and intensity is better on here. But then the last marks you make, your icing on the cake, is a soft stick, and that's what's in her hair and on the sunglasses. And it just pops. And that is like, you got to hold off because I know you want to see that yumminess, but you wait for it. And the same thing remember in the workshop I was doing today where I said I took video of my granddaughter? This is a screenshot from one of the videos, and I never would have gotten that angle had I not been just going around taking video of her. So, so there's that one, all pan pastel in a breeze, like you're done in no time. Here I'm setting myself up. I better be able to do it that fast. And here's one of my latest ones of my granddaughters. They're a little older here. And it just gives you this and this is on a dark paper. And we talked in my workshop about having that 70-30 split or even an 80-20 split. You want to make something look really light infused, you have to be, you have that 70% dark and then get that light in there. Or you're 70% light and you have a little bit of dark in there. You never want your lights and darks to be even. You don't really want anything to be even. Stay away from sameness. But you can see here, do you see the little marks that are back there with her, the little what do you call it? Crinoline? That was all done with a sponge. So literally every mark you make with the sponge can be a different mark. And you got to strive for that. And then let's see.
The tutus exclusively with sponges.
Yes. So this one I spent a lot more time on. Because, oh my goodness, that face was challenging. Challenging. And I will not lie. I started this and I didn't finish. I didn't touch it again for like 8 months. I was afraid of it. And I was like, gosh, am I going to be able to do this? And the parents had seen it and it wasn't a commission, but I was just scared to death of it. And and finally I said, I'm getting in here and I'm finishing it. And so she took forever. The flowers took no time at all. So, but it was really, really fun. And that is on a piece of Canson Touch. So, and I actually have a big one on Canson Touch. I'll pull it out. That is not quite done, wherever she may be. But I had found that I couldn't get dark enough on it. And the pans were not, and this was a dark piece. And the pans were not getting dark on it. It's not done. But one of the things I found is one of the things that we did like this one has a India ink underpainting. So that's what I used. So I used India ink to get my darks so that then when it was dry, I could use my pans on top of it. So that was a really, it was a good workaround for me. This is Canson Touch. It's besides Color Fix. Oh, look, my watermark is upside down. It's the only one that has this edge. And that's how you know. Although somebody else had, was it Helen? Helen, are you the one that had that piece? We didn't know what it was and it had that edge to it. Yeah. We still never figured out wasn't Color Fix. So anyway, but I loved using this, one of my favorite surfaces besides La Carte, until the velvet came out, which is what I'm going to be demoing for you today. And I have a couple on that for you here. Well, no, that's Canson, a huge piece of Canson. I literally painted that talking on the phone with somebody. And then that one was in the SOP show 3 years ago. Yes?
Do you generally work as big as the one you just showed us?
No, I go back and forth. I really love working big, but as you all know, the framing of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I will do that big. And if somebody wants to purchase it and frame it themselves.
Do you have a little sample of the velvet that we
I do. I'll get that out as soon as I'm done and I'll pass her. Actually, I have it right here. Oh, I totally get it. I have some white. Somebody had gifted me some white. I wasn't a big fan of it with the pans. I'm going to have to do a underpainting on it, but and I haven't tried that yet. So, and here are two of my latest pieces. The sunflowers was on a 12 by 15 and took me, I think, 40 minutes to do. And the one on the right I did is my a Zoom demo for Pastel Society of North Carolina just this past January. And that was from a photo that I manipulated with my apps. And that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. So I just want to go over a couple tips and tricks as you guys are touchy-feely with the Canson Velvet. I'm sorry, I move around. I'm a teacher, so it's like what I do. Use various sides of the sponge, just like you would with a pastel stick, right? Anyway, you want to move it. And you touch a different part of the sponge. You can squeeze it and change the shape of it, right? I like to do as much as I can with the biggest sponge that I have first. Just like if you've ever taken a painting class, the professor's like, use the biggest tool you have first. Always use your biggest tools. And then you can move down, to the other tools. So, and then varying the stroke, layering. You're going to notice that it makes very translucent marks. So you can layer those. Apply multiple colors to a sponge. So you can double load, triple load, one side, then the other. Here, I'll show you real quick. It is so cool. So you can load this side with this dark, this side with this light, and there's my two colors. So you can double load, you can mix on your sponge, you can mix on another piece of paper, you can use the pastel dust that has fallen on the bottom of your piece, save that, put it in a used pan pastel thing, and you have a gorgeous neutral. So there's another tip for you. And then use the sponge to mute areas by slightly smearing. So if there's something you want to change and you want to mute and you're like, this is way too bright, you just mute it. This sponge, even if you're not going to purchase pan pastels, get these, work with these. Even with regular pastels, this is going to be a tool you reach for all the time. I bring this to every one of my beginner workshops that are using regular pastels, and they block in with the sticks and then they blend it in. It's almost like using a chamois or a pipe insulation or whatever it is everybody else has used. But I like them because they give you some interesting shapes. And then I told you about using the dust. Oh, you can pick up colors that are already on your painting and move them. You go, oh, I need some of that color down here. So easy to do. I like to make my objects bigger and then carve in with them. But, you do that with regular pastels too. I already talked about using soft pastel at the end to give you that power and that oomph and that contrast. And everybody always asks me, how do you wash these? You do not wash them in the sink, squeezing soap and water through them like a makeup sponge. They will dry rot. You stick them in the washer and dryer. Mm-hmm. With your other, don't do it with your white clothes. Do it with your smock and your rags. And I always keep a rag with me. You'll see, I'm like wiping this. I'm very lazy. I'm such a lazy painter. You guys might be really super clean and neat, and you have a sponge for your lights and a sponge for your darks, and I don't clean my pastels. I'm terrible. They looked really good for this workshop, and I was afraid to touch them. So this box looked clean. Do y'all remember how pretty it was when I got here? Now it's all dirty. So it's just, I'm lazy. So I just wipe it. And you can also have, I should probably have a scrap paper over there to clean it, which would clean it a little bit better too. So those are all my tips and tricks. If you want to get a picture of this to remember, go for it right now. And I'm going to steal that when you all are done.
When you throw it in washer and dryer, though, you will put soap like you would.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And if you have one of those mesh bags, I would do that. Yeah, do it. I don't have one, so I just throw it in there with my smock and all my towels and everything. So just throw them in the washer.
Where do you buy these?
Oh, the sponges you can get at Blick, you can get at Jerry's, you can get on Amazon. They're all over the place now. After the company was bought out by Golden, not only did they become more accessible, but they started creating more colors. So Golden owns them now, but they're exclusive. There's no other manufacturer of pan pastels. And you're using a medium that was developed in this century, which is really kind of cool.
I'm sorry. Do they have a different binder in them than your regular soft?
You know what? That's a very good question. I did know this at some point, but has left my brain. It is a particular type of binder, and I have tried to reconstitute it and put it back into the tin. But if you've ever made your own pastel, which I am not successful at, it just kind of crumbles again. So whatever their proprietary mixes. It's fantastic. Yes.
The consistency of them are the same. There's no hard difference.
No. No, I take that back. Can we get the lights on? I take that back. As you work on them, you will notice certain colors are going to be more highly pigmented and softer than others. And because you're going to go, oh, wow, that really made an intense mark, or, oh, I got to really dig in that to make it work. So yeah, there is, because of the pigment that they're using in it. And I don't think it has anything to do with the binder. I think it has to do with the pigment. I go through here and I do, and I've done it with China marker, which I could do real quick because it does cover it up. I think I'm just going to try something different and use a white charcoal pencil today. And I'm just going to hope that this works out. So this is my image that I was literally playing with at the restaurant when we were having lunch with my friends, because I wanted to do one that had different flowers so that I could show you different tools. If I had done the roses, I probably just would have been using these two, maybe this one. But I know you guys are really interested in seeing what this little thing does right here. So quickly as we go, I'm just going to do a little placement gesture. This is down here. I don't know where I need to be for the zoom. Okay, here we go. There's that. I'm hitting a dry spot on here. You could hear that. It's probably nails on a chalkboard. Here's another little guy. There's this one. And then here's my star iris. Just getting some gesture lines so I can see where things are. And maybe a little bit of the table slightly angled. I might change that later. I don't know. And that's enough. Does everybody else take that long? It takes forever. Yeah, I don't draw. I'm not a really good drawer. So I figure, why waste my time? I'm going to cover it up anyway. If I was doing a study and I was drawing it in pencil, I would definitely take some time, but that's not the fun part to me. So very unusually, you guys normally wouldn't do this. If you were doing this in regular pastel, what would you start with? If you're thinking about making this be a full-on pan pastel painting, you need to get your lights in here first. Otherwise, because it's so translucent, you're going to get mud. Now, I work very opposite from Steffi Clark, who starts with her backgrounds. I do not. I do those at the end. So I work completely opposite from her. She works almost like she's doing a toll painting, we decided. So I'm going to try to get my lighter areas in here. Obviously, this isn't very light. There's really none of these flowers are light. I'm going to start with a little bling right off the bat. So I want to get a little bit of that shine, that pearlescent on there. And then I'm going to get this little area. So I'm going to get some of these colors going in the direction of, there's some up here. So I'm just squinting, getting this color in here. This one's going to be a little, ooh, this guy's darker on this side. So I've got, now every time you make a mark, dark, medium, lighter, you've got different, look how many marks you can make with that, right? And then as you layer it on there, you can see the edge. So this is why you want to kind of like squish it, make it different. Then I can blend that in. So I already have a flower with just those few marks. Then I'll go over here. And because I already have pink on here, the purple is going to be fine. So I could go into my violets over here with just a couple little wipes, or maybe one wipe here. And I'm going to follow the direction. And I love that pink that just popped in there. I obviously need some more purples. Maybe a little bit. So I just mixed two, maybe a little light on there for these guys. So I'm following the direction of those petals. So that already looks like an iris. Yes. Yeah, but you're right. You're right. But I'm going to tell you that I should have said more of the color. These are all dark. But it's not like black. You're not starting with black. I'm starting with the color I want it to be. Thank you for calling me out on that. But I will get, yes. He's like, girl's crazy. All right. In other words, I didn't want you to have black on here. So I just said that wrong. So you don't want to start with anything super uber dark. You want to start with the colors so that you don't muddy them up. Does that make more sense? I'm sorry about that. All right, so let me go over here. But I'm still not as dark as I can go. So maybe it should be mid-tones. Okay, here we go. And then now my yellows. Let me get another sponge just so I don't get dirty.
Do you use different sponges for lights and darks?
Yeah, you probably should. I just sometimes clean it off.
I don't think we should color any rules. The results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Whatever she does, it has her genius method.
Oh, thank you. Okay. See, that feels like to me that needs to be darker. But you see how translucent they all are? So I'm getting this like underpainting in super, super quickly. Thank you for waiting for my friends to leave before you did that to me, so I don't have to do that. Laurie, man. All right, and now just because I know you want to see it. I don't know, I could do it with this, but I'm going to get, all right, if this was in my app, let's see, I have it in my app. I'm going to show you something here. Oh, it's not in this one, my bad. I'll show you on my phone. Or you can also use color picker. Here's my flowers. Touch it. It just picked up that color. That is the color of that.
Wow.
That is the color of the white flower.
So that's what you use for them.
So I manipulated this in several different apps. This is Brushes Redux. You can also use Color Study, which is an app that can be used on everything. But this is just to show you how everything is relative. That is the color of the white. So there's the color, right? It's that white flower. Do you see that down there as a corner in the corner? This is Brushes Redux. You can, if Color Picker works for you, or Color Study. But there is one called Color Picker too. So that will make me go, okay, I do not want to go super light there, even though it looks like you're light. So I'm going to go with a gray and maybe a little bit of pink on there. Maybe a little bit. I'm just kind of winging it here, which is always good. And now that will show up. That's way too dark. And do you notice how I'm moving it in different ways too? And then over here, and this guy has a lot more pink in it. So we've got this. We've got a scary movie happening back there. This might be too dark, and I can always lighten it later. But then I want to get the centers, and this would be a good one to use, the centers. So my centers.
Is that pan pastel?
It is. This will actually come if you order. It's really dense. And I think I might want to get a little green in there. Tone that down a little bit. Really dark up and around here. So I can already get that dark in there. Maybe even a little violet. Might be too much. But you can always, it's so easy to fix, y'all. Let me get this dark in here. Now I could do that with this one, or I could do it. This is a really good one. This pointy one is good for flowers. Not flowers, stems. Flowers too, leaves. Maybe a little black in there as well. Maybe a little more green. And if I can get, one of the things you do is not, see how I made them all? Get some of them to be all one solid. Do you see what I just did? See how I obliterated each one of those separate ones? I can get that back. Where's that dark green? See how I'm carving in between? And I could even use this one. So now here's my true darks to carve in up and around some of these. Bless you. Now in a floral, the inside of it, the closer you get inside, the darker things become. All right, and if I needed to get any more, now that looks lighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll never forget when I was doing my demo for PSNC, and I just told everybody on the Zoom, go ahead and just shout stuff out as you want. Well, this one lady goes, "Oh my God, she just ruined it. Why would she?" And I go, I can hear you. So funny. She did not realize. So I left that out there. I'm going to go ahead and, I said, get your lights in there. I'm going to go ahead and have some fun with those lights so I can get a little stuff happening here. Never use a white. I would use, a warm light. So there's a little few shines on that petal. And then maybe up and around this. So I could also use my big one. So I'm kind of moving back when I'm being a little ADHD here with the tools because I just want to show them to you. That's too much the same. So I got to move that. So now I'm going to get this. But to be honest with you, that's how I paint. I don't have like a set, okay, I got to do this. And I do whatever moves me at the moment. It's all intuitive. Do you guys paint like that too?
Yes.
So it's like, I'll just do whatever I feel like.
Mask.
Don't need to follow the rule.
I'll
All right.
Have all
go
the
up there so I'm not making
including the.
Oh, you're not making noise.
Yes.
That's not
Yes.
the problem. I want you to wear a mask.
All right. Is she telling me why did I ruin it? Okay. Can you see? I mean, how are you even seeing this? Is there another camera on me someplace?
It's working.
Is it really?
Zoom in.
All right. So you know what? I need a nice bright green, and I don't have one up here.
Laurie, do you have all of the fantastic?
I think I probably do.
Both sets?
Yeah, I think after the years, now I'm not 100% sure I have them all. I think I have a lot of repeats. But they do, unlike a regular pastel, but with each manufacturer having a different color, they all have the names on the back. And you can go from an extra dark to a dark to, like, what do we have here? Of course, I can't see it because it's all dirty. Chromium green extra dark, chromium green shade, chromium green light, chromium green extra light, or tint, or whatever they call it. So they do make all of these. I think I definitely need to get some like brighter green in here, and I don't have that up here.
I was wondering if you ever, if you could wet them.
No, definitely not. You cannot wet them. I want to get this flower right here.
Like not at any point in the process, you don't let
This is why I used them for the La Carte, because the La Carte couldn't get wet, right?
Yeah. So if you do, I haven't used that long either. I never tried it.
No, I don't think it would move. I think it would just get stuck. I think it would ruin it. Yeah, I don't know if I would do that at all. Yes, on the black especially. I love the black. Okay, where am I? Oh, I have another little beautiful little flower right here. Let me get my brighter greens. And this, okay. Do you notice how I've got cool and warm? I like to oscillate back and forth with them, but then I have to finish off with whichever one it seems to be. So now, see, I'm going to kind of carve out that leaf. So this is definitely warmer. And I could even put a little bit of this gold in here. And then if I need to lighten that gold, I'll use a little bit of that and blend that in there. And then we've got that darker green here coming down. Now, this is much lighter, so I could go ahead and take this yellow and kind of go over this just to lighten that a little bit. So very quickly changed it. And then maybe a few little hints of some light, which is actually cool, coming through. And then I think this light is fairly cool as well. Warmer on this side, maybe a little of this over here. Now I can get, I need my big sponge, this little one's not working for me. Get my contrast here. I'm going to pull in some of those violets that I used here, down in through here. Maybe a little warmer. Little sparkly in there. Neutralize it.
When you say sparkly, are you talking about a iridescent?
Yep, they're pearlescent and they are so fun. And I don't have the copper one in here, but that's my favorite. Where's my copper one? So they've got the pink. Here's the copper. And once you have it on your sponge, It's like look at the copper. So let's see where I can put some copper just for fun. Oh, yeah. Fun. Isn't that pretty? I can put that in the pinks. But I do have the sparkly pink in there. So I see a little glow here, a little glow here. You can barely see it. But when you get up close, you'll see it's translucent. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I feel like I need to get some yellows on this side. I'm feeling a little lopsided. Had I had more time, I would have done this on my app. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and pop in a few little forsythia over here or whatever this is. I don't know what they were. I can't tell. Does it matter? No. Now, obviously, my sponge was a little dirty. So this is more of the, now this is the lit side. This is the darker side. So I'm going to go over here and darken that. Okay, I could always leave the paper the way it is, right? Bless you. And let me just show you something fun here with this guy here. Let me get, so now I got, vary it always, and then maybe pop in a couple light ones. That might be too many, but I can always get rid of them. So that just gives you a little energy, and I can start working on the background, and then I'll develop a little bit more like this little center right there. I feel like it needs to be just a bit darker up underneath to make that pop. I just want to see if this works. Barely anything. See it? Didn't move. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so the dust factor with these artist graphics, the soft.
Probably not, unless I'm working with them, because I make a dusty mess. But this is what I'm saying. This paper grips. It just grips it. So just be aware of that when you start going in this, that you have to paint like, this was my hack for everybody. Pretend like you know what you're doing. Just pretend like you're somebody else. Oh, I know how to do this. And I'm just going to quickly go, whoop. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. You cannot be painstaking with it. So when you see me work with the background, it's not going to move. So you know how when you are starting with a soft pastel, you have all that pigment on there and you can move it around, move it around, move it around. It's not going to move around the same. This is different. So I'm going to pick up this. I'm going to mute this. Wonder if that's going to work. Maybe a little U. And then maybe a little U. All those colors on there. Okay. It's always going to be closer to the last color you dipped in. So just know that. When I'm doing this, I'm literally not thinking that much. It just is very intuitive. I know the color I want. If you have ever mixed colors before, this will be a natural thing for you. You'll pick it up. So I'm going to get some of these. It definitely needs darker. So do you see how I'm moving it around? Lighten that. But you can see different directions here.
Can you use fixative with
Maybe on this paper, but I've not tried it on this, but I will tell you that I had a painting I had done for a good friend of mine of her dog, and she took it in to be framed, and then framed. I said, "Don't fix it." The framer sprayed it. It obliterated it. I do not understand what framers are thinking. The only person that should ever put anything on the artwork is the artist. Period. So he had to pay for me to redo it. So do you see how I was able to move that around a little bit, letting the paper show through here. But if I want to carve into that, I really do need to cut into it. See that? So I'm shrinking it. One of the things I think is I'm so enamored with this is because my artwork used to be so precise, hard edges, and I always had a hard time getting my edges to soften. And when I'm looking at somebody else's artwork, the factor, the thing that just takes your breath away, it's always because there's so much soft edges to it. And then there's that one or two little moments of reality. And I thought Karen had a good term for these. She says, it's so romantic looking. It's just the softness of it. This is so good for pets. It's good for what?
She's so romantic.
Honey, get me some pan pastels. You guys are lucky to have her. You know that? So I'm going to move on to a little bluer over here. Did you see what just happened right here? Look at that. That's like the light is coming in, right?
Like kind of hard to understand that, right?
No. If I did that with just the sponge with just pastel on there, I think it would still work. And I've done it. I will totally do that. I'm at a very translucent stage right now. This is all very little pigment on here. I want more of a.
Come up with that color for the background.
It was 15.5% of this, 10.5% of this. I have no idea. For this, a little this one, a little this one, a little. It's just I really can't tell you that. I neutralized it. Yeah, and then once you move it. Yes. Either that, or if I needed to cool it down, I added something cooler. If I needed to warm it up, I added something warmer. And also, to be quite honest, a dirty sponge. That gives you automatic neutralization, right? Yes, sir.
How much? Because do you really press the money and truly try to take it all out?
No, just to take the edge off. If I really wanted it to be crisp and I made a mark and it looked muddy, I do it a lot more, or I get a clean sponge. And these wear out really quickly and you'll get a hole in them. And I will still fight with it and try to get as much as I can. I'll take it off and flip it around. But they're cheap. Throw it away. Throw it away and then just, get a new one. Yeah. I never use that square one. This is my fave. I like Mr. Pointy Head. He's a good one.
Is it true you can't use other sponges?
No, definitely not. You cannot. You can't. I've tried. The density of it is this is unique. I've tried to save money and get like, oh, let me use a makeup sponge. It just doesn't cut it.
And it's
So-
part of that because of the paper too. I mean, the paper has some grip to it.
Yes, this paper grips like crazy, just so you know. So see, I'm going to warm it up.
What did you say what that paper is again?
This is velvet. All right. So do you see how I had these leaves over here? Let me get them back in. So I have these leaves, right? Oh, way too much the same. Same. I'm going to change it. Boom. Shrink it. Change the direction of that one. See how I just transformed it?
Laurie, if you want to take a break, whenever it's good for you, you can take it.
The paper wants to take a break.
Got it.
Yeah. Let's see here. I just wanted a little more intense of an orange. Everybody's like, is that my phone? It's really amazing what detail you can get on these.
Is there a particular way that you use that? Like you turn your wrist around?
Yes, I'm always moving it in different directions. So when I go to outline something, so I just wanted to get that background behind that flower to make it pop out so that shine was on there. The worst thing you can do, and I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
We used to do that in first grade.
Yes. So you go in different directions, pull it different ways. Pretend like you know what you're doing. Every mark you make is different. Let some of them blend together. And just kind of go with your gut. I like that little bit of blue. Let that color, see how that orange just mixed with it? Isn't that pretty? Not every place is going to be.
It's really like heating, isn't it?
Very much so. Very much so. I don't like that shape.
It's so giving.
So because again, you have not filled up the tooth of that paper. But what you're looking for is those sweet spots. So this is really light. I actually put these lights in here myself. So if I got too busy back here, bless you, I can move this around, or I can leave it and let those layers, those marks show through. You see them? You see the marks?
You mentioned earlier that you can actually erase it off.
You can erase it on the, no, I haven't tried it on this. I might be able to. You know what? It might work. This is an eraser. But you can use any kind of eraser. Let's see how that works. Didn't do much. Let me get a bigger eraser. That's what my kids would do. They'd be throwing the erasers. I used to they would covet these, right? And I would take them and slice them up with a razor blade. And one day I just got nailed in the head by one. Life of a school teacher. Yeah. Yeah. You see that?
Yeah. It went back to the paper color.
Yep. I got little crumblies though, but I don't mind it. I feel like the sponge does the same thing. Like I'm not going to be able to erase this away. I lied. It is sort of gone.
You let it go.
About lifting it, though, was like the dummy.
Yeah, that might work too. I just honestly, if I'm going to use an eraser, it is going to be to draw. And I hope you all do the same thing. If you are using an eraser to get rid of a mistake, you got some work to do. Don't ever do that. Let your mistake be there. That's not fun. You remember the kids in class? Oh, the whole paper. That's what I used to give my first graders. The very first lesson I would teach, whether it was first grade or sixth grade, I'd give everybody a piece of paper that I scribbled on. I said, "Here you go. Turn it. If you don't like what you do, change it into something new." That was my saying for 34 years, so that the kids had to turn it into something else. So and then they'd be so excited. "Mrs. Basham, look what I did. I turned this mistake into, it's a house now." So they were so cute. Yep, happy little tree. Just made up that flower. All right, so look, it's very pale. See how I can get really like far away, more translucent-y looking things. And I see a lot happening in this magenta, kind of glowing right here, maybe a little lighter. Get some of those darks in there.
Laurie, do you ever use your chalk dust?
I do. I do. I like the neutral. Like I probably would have been digging into that for my background on this. It would have been a lot quicker. I feel like that needs to still come out a little bit more. There we go. Just a few little, use the side of it. It's more of a pink. It's like, and then it's pretty dark up underneath. Pull that some of this. Oh, remember what I said? I have a lot on there. I can pick that up and use it. There we go. So now that one's starting to pop out a little bit more. Might be a little bit too perfect. We don't want that, right? You want to make it have a little variety there. That's better. Now he's not like, there we go. Get some of those coming out here. This is still the big sponge, my favorite. Giving me those soft edges. And then I could start popping in some of these highlights in between the light coming through here. um, I want to get some of the light happening. There's me.
Lori, can I have a question?
Sure.
At what point do you decide that you're going to start with your lights and have those stay up as opposed to being in the
Right near the end where I feel like I really need to get like something bright in here. So I'm getting close to that point. You know, I've got the softness happening, and my goal, let's see, this is more of a teal. My goal is to get to the point where I'm ready to have those little moments of reality, which I did right here with that one. And that does have that teal. All right, I need to move you. You're going to come over here. Up and underneath, because I really want the eye to go there. And I with a dark version of that. And what a yummy color is that. And then, is this making your eye go here? I like that little spot. Now I'm pretty much cleaning my brush, or cleaning my tool, and just moving some things around, softening things up. Let me get some lighter violet happening here. I did put a lot of a magenta in this, so it wasn't just the same. Plus, it's going to tie these together. I mean, you could get, I don't want to get too close to the image because otherwise I'm just copying a photo. And even though I made the, you know, I was the one that did all that, but you want to break free from it and not pay attention to it every single second. So there is a stem here. I'm going to breaking that part up a little bit. I've not stepped back a lot at all, so I really need to do that. So you know, we get to the point after you've used these that you get, Karen saw me pull, or whoever it was saw me pulling these out. You get to the point where they look like this. This entire thing, I said, I'm painting with these. And I just dug it in there and got everything I could out of it, except for, you know, a couple of the colors in the background. I was like, I really need a full one. So I made sure I could still use it. So I do bring those in for, you know, students to try, even though they feel like, oh, can't use them anymore. I'm looking for that brightness right here. And then it gets dark right there. And then I'll do the water line. And the water line will be more than one color. I'm getting very close to using the sticks. I want to get some more of this dark here so I'm building the darks a little bit more here so that when I go get those sticks on there, they're going to really pop. I need some more yellow here, here. And I could pop in, this is such a cool yellow, but so see how bright that is on top? Pull that. It's just still so cool to me.
So Laurie, when you're looking at the image before you even start with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know what's going to be stick pastels? What's
No.
gonna be- You don't.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. But look how much darker I was able to get in there with a stick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like you said, you were getting to like 7.
Yes, so now I'm pushing those values.
Yeah, with the sticks
Uh-huh.
to the edges of the scale.
Yep. But I can go back and forth. Like I might not like all those lines. Let me orange here. So these are very really fairly soft pastels, but you can see how much more intense they are than the others. But now that it's on there, there's nothing that says I can't move it. Right? You know what? This guy actually is more up. And then, so I'm going to look for some little moments of reality here. And if I zoom into that, so I don't want to do this everywhere, but if I can capture this, and let's see if I have a blue.
Making the sky holes
Yes, yes. Some negative space
with a heart.
with a hard pastel.
soft stick pastel.
Yeah, well, a stick, exactly. So I think I need to soften that. And if I'm going to have that there, yes. No. Now I've got a bunch of bitty pieces. So that might be too intense for me.
So easy it comes down.
Yes, that's what I love about it.
Gray color from somewhere else.
Yes. I get some gray in here. A 2, I'm sorry, a 8 on the value scale. No, it would be with the dark. It was a 2, now it's a 1. Look how dark it is. So that's when those pans really, oh, he got way big. I need to shrink you. How are we on time?
It's 2:42.
Okay.
We have to clean up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No later.
Anybody else have any other questions? So do you see how these are popping on here so nicely? And just make some fun little marks. Let me get that yellow. So we've got those highlights.
Look at that.
This is like a light blue.
It just illuminated.
Yep. Isn't that crazy how it does that? Because of the intensity of the pastel. And I'm barely pressing. And Jenny, you have asked about. There we go. Just illuminated it a little bit. Barely pressing. Softening edges. Capturing the light. Guess who I am? Who am I? Tony Lane.
Oh,
Oh yeah. He's like, whatever. Yeah. But how fun is that to do, right? Not too many. Not too many. I think I'm done. I lied.
Oh, but you stepped back. That's the problem.
Yep.
You saw things.
I should not look at it for a day or two. Oh, well, I can send it to you. Anyway, there you guys go. Thank you so much for having me. Really, really appreciate it. But it is a pleasure to be here. I'm in my element teaching. I've absolutely loved it. I had to do demos like this. Anybody else that was a teacher every day, 5 times a day, and you had to be really fast. Otherwise, I was so glad I didn't have to turn around and say, keep your hands to yourself. Please follow me on Instagram at Lolly Artworks, LOLLI Artworks, and Facebook, my website. Yeah, it's on my card. Yeah, and it's Laurie Basham fineart.com. So I'm on there, and if you want to see, it depends on how busy I am. I have a lot of work on my artwork archive, which I'm so glad you all are using. If you have a lot of artwork and you enter shows, I highly recommend it. And I found out from Helen that as a Pastel Society member, we get 20% off.
40% off for life.
For life. So I got to go get a rebate for the past 3 years.